What's up, guys? Alvaro here, and welcome to the bilingual stock market channel again. Let's go ahead and talk about some stocks and about the insanity that once again happened today in the markets. And the markets were an absolute roller coaster today, guys. Unbelievable. In the case of the S&P 500 and the NASDAQ 100, we saw intraday's rally of 3%. And at around 1:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we were having another bloodbath in the markets. And all of a sudden, S&P 500 and NASDAQ 100 turned around, and we ended up having a green day across the board, at least when it comes to the indices. Something that is worth pointing out is the Russell 2000. Small caps stocks had a very solid day today. You guys know that the Russell is my favorite market leading indicator, so who knows if this is a positive sign for the bulls. So Russell 2000 goes up today 1%, NASDAQ goes up 1.63%, Dow went up 0.26%, and the S&P 500 went up 0.57%. Crude oil ended up going up 0.57%, and the WTI closed the trading session at $105. Gold went down 2.60%, silver goes down 2.02%, and the 10-year Treasury yield went up today 3.78%. Then finally, at last, and since 2018, the 10-year Treasury yield, or TNX, burst above 3%. And today, I, by the way, got TLT calls because I think that the 10-year Treasury yield is very overextended and it is due for a pullback. So I am officially shorting the 10-year Treasury yield. When it comes to the VIX, guys, I don't have the information handy over here. It went down today 3.17%, and it closed today's trading session at 32 points. And now, obviously, guys, the big question is what is going to happen before the Federal Open Market Committee that is taking place on Wednesday. Remember, we have the Federal Open Market Committee on Wednesday, and the markets have been getting killed day after day and day after day. So some people believe that the markets are trying to discount or to price in a 75 basis point increase, which I don't think is going to be the case. So there are some people out there saying, some investors and some traders making the case that if the markets keep on dropping, which it didn't happen today, but say that tomorrow we happen to have another red day, and say that maybe on Wednesday we open the trading session also in the red, then that might be a sign that the markets are discounting the worst case scenario. And if we happen to be announced a 50 basis point hike on Wednesday, then the markets after that are going to rally. We will see what ends up happening with the Federal Reserve. Keep in mind, guys, and this is something that is worth pointing out, that the NASDAQ 100 just had its worst month since 2008. So what's really the likelihood for the markets to have a worse month than April, when we had to wait 15 years to have a month this bad? So if we make the case that April was an extremely negative month, then we might see a better month, a more positive month in May. And keep in mind that from a statistical standpoint, from a historical standpoint, May and June are usually bad months for the markets, a negative month for the markets. Just like that old phrase, sell in May and go away. So this May, taking into account how negative April was, this month of May is going to be very interesting. And needless to say, guys, we just had the worst beginning of any year for the stock market since 1939. So that is something, that's nothing but nothing short of extraordinary. Let's just put it that way. And maybe we won't see a solid May and go away throughout this month. If we take a look at the sectors of the markets, so today the rally was led by communication services, energy, technology, and and consumer discretionary. So we can make the case because the energy sector is not as heavy as as the communication services, technology, and consumer discretionary. So we can make the case that really the heavy lifting today was carried out by the most expensive sectors of the market, and industrials actually went up, and the financial sector ended up having a slight positive day today. So check this out, guys. Materials, healthcare, utilities, consumer staples, and real estate. The real estate sector got absolutely killed. So we can make the case that we saw some sort of rotation today in the markets from the value sectors and the most defensive sectors into the most expensive sectors of the markets. If we take a look at the advances and declines distribution, today we had 4,203 stocks going up and 3,350 stocks going down. And now I want to show you guys the most important earnings reports that are going to be posted tomorrow. So before open, we have Pfizer. We also have British Petroleum. If I can speak today, sorry, guys. We also have Marathon Oil. We have Hilton. We also have Biogen, Steel Lauder. That is going to be before open. And after close, oh boy, we have AMD, Airbnb, Starbucks, Skyworks, Solution, and Lyft. So needless to say, we are going to have a bunch of very interesting earnings reports coming out. And obviously, guys, AMD is going to be very important for the tech sector. AMD is not a very heavy company market cap wise for the NASDAQ 100 and the S&P 500, but AMD is some sort of reference for the tech sector as a whole. So whatever AMD reports tomorrow might affect the sentiment of the market, let's just put it that way, towards the tech sector as a whole. If we take a look at the trades that I closed in today's trading session, I'm just going to show you guys this is Spanish, obviously. These were the alerts that were posted on my Patreon today. So I took a day trade on Tesla. I left a lot of money on the table, but I mean a lot of money, guys. I purchased 25 shares of Tesla at $860. I closed the trade at around $870. I ended up making $130. So you can go ahead and do the math, and you can make the case that I left a lot of money on the table with the day trade that I took on Tesla. Another day trade that I took today was on Facebook, guys. This morning I purchased the Facebook puts, and I ended up making almost $200. This is a trade that I measured pretty well, because I picked up one contract, two puts of Facebook when it was first rejected earlier on today at around $210. I ended up making over here $193. So in summary, I ended up making today $325. Now let's go ahead and take a look at the S&P 500, which went up today 0.57%, and it closed today's trading session at 4,155 points. And take a look at the 1 day, 1 minute chart of the S&P 500, guys. An absolute roller coaster. So the trading session opened. The S&P dropped down to 4,100 points. It went up. It failed at 4,171 points. And after having failed over that level, guys, we saw a 3% drop. This was an intraday drop down to 4,060 points. And after the S&P found support at 4,060 points, we saw a massive rally into the closing bell of almost 2.50%. Unbelievable price action for the S&P 500. Check this out, guys. I am going to pull up here a 1-year chart. And why did the S&P find support at 4,060 points? This is a previous support back from, guess what, guys? A year ago. Exactly. The S&P 500 found support at 4,060 points back on May 2nd of last year. This is unbelievable, no doubt about it. So needless to say, guys, from a bearish perspective, when it comes to the most important task that the bears of the S&P 500 are going to have to accomplish in tomorrow's trading session, 4,060 points is going to be the main homework that they need to carry out. When it comes to the bulls, what could be happening over here? Check this out, guys. The S&P closed the trading session at 4,155 points. All right. 4,160 points happens to be a previous support back from mid-March. This level was the lower pivot that was hit back in March. So, needless to say, the most important task for the bulls in tomorrow's trading session is going to be bursting above 4,160 points and at least try to close the trading session above that area. RSI at 38 points. That implies that obviously the S&P 500 could go either way. And as of now, guys, and this is something that is worth to be pointed out, the S&P 500 is 14% of the highs. In correction territory. Now let's go ahead and take a look at the NDX NASDAQ 100, which goes up today 1.72%, and it closed today's trading session at 13,075 points. And guys, let me pull up here a 3-year chart and take a look at what happens over here. So the NDX almost found support at 12,600 points from an intraday perspective. We are talking, guys, about a previous support back from March of last year. So in my opinion, and if the bears want to bring the NASDAQ 100 way lower, they need to take on 12,600 points. And check this out, guys. If the bears happen to bring the NASDAQ 100 down to 12,600 points, and if they happen to be able to take on this support, we are talking about a 25% correction. And mind you, guys, any drop of any index or any drop of any stock below 30% from all-time high is considered a crash. So the NASDAQ 100 today at around 1 p.m., 1:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time was only 5% from let's say a crash territory. So very, very ugly price action, the one that we have been seeing over here. The NDX, and despite the fact that we saw a very acceptable relief rally into the closing bell, the NASDAQ 100 is still 22% of the highs. So the most important task for the bulls in tomorrow's trading session is going to be feeling, or at least try to feel, the next gap up to 13,400 points. This is a previous area of support back from mid-March. And obviously, when it comes to the bears, they need to bring the NASDAQ 100 below 13,000 points and try to break this lower pivot of 12,600 points to the downside. So needless to say, this is an extremely ugly looking chart. The NDX is below all the moving averages. We can still see over here a death cross with the 50 SMA crossing below the 180 SMA on the 4-hour chart. So the bulls still have a lot to do over here. And now the big question is what the reaction of the market is going to be looking like on Wednesday once the Federal Reserve happens to announce the new interest rate hike. Because maybe, and as I just said in the introduction of this video, if the markets are kind of pricing in a 75 basis point hike, if the announcement happens to be about a 50 basis point hike, we might see at least an acceptable relief rally in the case of the NDX. And Palantir is going to be the first stock of this video. And mind you guys, most of the stocks that I am going to be breaking down in this video have a very similar technical setup. Very ugly looking charts, by the way, or needless to say. So Palantir goes up to a 3.27%, and it closed today's trading session at $10.74. Now the big question is the bottom in the case of Palantir at $9.50? That might be the case. Palantir has been consolidating slightly above $10, and $10.30, guys, might be a spot in which Palantir is about to start a double bottom formation. At $10.30, Palantir found support back in mid-March. So I'm thinking, guys, that if this, let's say, possible double bottom formation happens to unfold, maybe the bulls of Palantir are going to be able to fill the next important gap up to $12.50. This is the 180 SMA on the 4-hour chart, coinciding with a previous resistance back from early March and also a previous support back from early February. So if we were able to take a trade on Palantir from $10.80-ish up to $12.42. This would be a 12% profit trade. RSI at 42 points. So I think that Palantir, and despite the fact that the stock of this company went up today 3.27%, it still has gas in the tank in order to fill this next gap up to $12.30. And the second stock of this video is going to be SoFi Technologies, another victim of the ongoing correction of the market. SoFi goes up today 3.43%, and it closed today's trading session at $6.33. Very ugly looking short, a technical downtrend. SoFi is trading below all the moving averages. So I'm thinking, and now, obviously, before we think about taking a trade on SoFi, the big question over here is the bottom in at $6? This is a trade if we want to take any trade on SoFi, we have to be very careful, guys, because if this support of $6 happens to be broken to the downside, this is an all-time low for SoFi, so we don't have any previous support, to rely on to make the case that Palantir might be finding support at a lower level. So $6. If we happen to start any trade on SoFi, we need to place a very tight stop loss, slightly below, $6. But I'm thinking, guys, that if the bulls can take on this 50 SMA on the 4-hour chart at $6.60, they might be able to fill the next important gap up to $7.67. This is a previous support back from mid-March. So if we were able to take this trade from $6.60-ish up to $7.60, 70 cents, this would be a 15% profit. And mind you, guys, this is a very risky trade. This is a trade that we need to take with a very tight stop loss. This chart is absolutely broken from a technical standpoint, and anything below $6 in the case of SoFi is stop loss territory. The third stock of this video, another victim of the ongoing corrective process, guys. FuboTV goes up today 12.40%, and it closed today's trading session at $4.26. Many people make the case that the stock of this company is going to benefit a lot from the next World Cup that is going, the soccer World Cup or football World Cup that is going to take place in Qatar in December, because Fubo is going to be broadcasting every single game for the US. And we have a lot of Hispanics living here, and they are actually broadcasting the games narrated in Spanish. So that is something to take into account, because Fubo is, I don't know, how off the highest is Fubo as of now, guys? $62. My goodness. Let's talk about a bubble. So Fubo is 93% of the highs as of now. And as I just said in the case of Palantir, and as I just said in the case of Fubo, this technical short is absolutely broken from a technical standpoint. So I'm thinking, and obviously we need to ask the same question that we just asked in the case of Palantir and SoFi. Is the bottom in the case of Fubo at $3.68? That could be the case. And if that were the case, then watch out for Fubo, for the boost of Fubo taking on this 50 SMA on the 4-hour chart at $4.37 or 40 cents. Because if we take into account that the RSI of Fubo is at 52 points, very healthy from a technical standpoint, Fubo is neither oversold nor overbacked. If the bulls can take on this 50 SMA on the 4-hour chart with good volume and momentum, they might be able to fill the next gap up to the 180 SMA on the 4-hour chart at $6.18, a previous support back from mid-March. So if we were able to take this trade with Fubo bursting above $4.60 and up to $6.18, get these guys 24% profit. And the last stock of this video is going to be Coinbase Global, which went up today 7.66%, and it closed today's trading session at $121.34. By the way, guys, Bitcoin has been able to hold $38,000 as lower support pretty well. You guys know that Coinbase is the crypto exchange that holds the greatest amount of Bitcoin. So if Bitcoin happens to be consolidating slightly above $38,000 or slightly above $35,000, so if at some point in time Bitcoin happens to have another bull run up to $50,000, $55,000, then that is obviously a situation that is going to benefit Coinbase a lot. As of now, Coinbase is trading half the highs. Let me see. So, and mind you guys, I am holding a large bag over here, but you guys know that I am a crypto bull. So I am not selling out of my shares quite yet. I also have call options. So Coinbase is 74% of the highs. And mind you, guys, this is a profitable company. I was taking a look at the P ratio of Coinbase not long ago on Friday or Thursday of last week. And the PE of Coinbase, guys, is at 7. So Coinbase is trading at 7 times earnings. So I think that despite the fact that we are in front of a broken technical chart, this is the moment in which if you are a bull of a stock, you take advantage of such a generous discount such as the one that we are seeing as of now in the case of Coinbase. The bulls have a lot of repairs to do over here. So I'm thinking that if maybe they can take on this 50 SMA on the 4-hour chart at $131, they might be able to fill the next important gap up to $152, a previous resistance back from mid-April and also a previous support back back from mid-March. If we were able, this would be another trade that I might be opening. So if we were able to take a trade from 133 bucks ish up to 152 bucks, this would be a 12% profit. And with Coinbase Global, I am going to wrap up the video or this video. Thank you very much for your attention and thank you very much for hanging out with me. Once again, remember and keep in mind, guys, that here on the Bilingual Stock Market channel, we are posting stock market update videos Mondays through Thursdays, 3 or 4 hours after the market closes. So if you want to get all of the notifications of all of our videos in a timely manner, you have to be subscribed to this YouTube channel, but you also need to activate the notification bell right up there. Follow us on Instagram as well, guys, at Bilingual Stock Market. And remember that this is the Bilingual Stock Market channel, the YouTube channel in which we talk about the markets, but we do things differently because we talk about the markets in 2 different languages, English and Spanish. So you can pick your preferred language. But most importantly, this is the YouTube channel in which we know that the wonderful world of Wall Street is not for geniuses, it is for entrepreneurs just like you guys and myself. My name is Alvaro, and I will see you guys tomorrow once again, 3 or 4 hours after the market closes. Peace out.